Excuse me. Good morning, MS Gymmers. I sneezed right as the camera came on, so sorry about that. What's going on? My name is Trevor. I am the creator of the MS Gym. I want to welcome you to another glorious week here in the MS Gym. Hope you guys all had a great weekend. If you are new to the MS Gym, I just want to tell you welcome and glad you are here. This is the place that you're going to learn how to exercise with MS, exercise to counteract your MS symptoms, and exercise so that you can retrain your brain how to work around your MS damage in your body so that you can restore your strength, your function, your coordination, your mobility, and your quality of life. So I'm going to kind of do some one-off stuff this week because there's a lot of topics people want to cover that I've seen kind of popping up in comments here and there that don't really warrant an entire week of focus. So they're kind of like they're one-off topics that people have asked about that I will cover. Okay, so they're gonna be a little bit shorter this week. You guys have plenty of stuff to work on in the MS Gym. If you're brand new, the best place to go is into exercisewithms.com. Download one of your free MS exercise guides and get down on that. Okay. Because that is where you want to start. So we've done a lot of cool stuff the past couple weeks. We've had a lot of great circuits, but now it's kind of time to tie up some loose ends for people so that we can start moving forward towards some bigger stuff, okay? So today we're talking about foam rolling, all right? So we always talk about releases in the MS Gym. It's a very vital piece of the RISE movement system. The inhibition or the release of your spasticity or your overworked muscles is vital for you to be able to restore neuromuscular balance and just muscle function and body function as a whole. So there's multiple ways to do myofascial release, self-myofascial release, okay? You can use things like a tennis ball or a lacrosse ball. You can use things like these rolling pin deals. There's a ton of them out there. You can use things like your hands, okay? They were made to move, right? So your knuckles, your fingers, your palms of your hands, your forearms, whatever it might be. But a lot of times people like to use a foam roller, okay? Because a foam roller does a lot of cool things. There's a lot less of an angle than there is on this, and there's a little bit more of an angle than there is on this. So in terms of depth, okay, this is going to be like you're going to get a ton of fascia moving with a rolling pin, but it's not going to go super deep. Then you're going to go foam roller as the next layer of deepness into the tissue. Then having something like a training softball or something like that that's an air-filled ball type thing. That's going to be level 3. A regular softball is level 4. Tennis ball is level 5, and then you got lacrosse ball level 6, and then you can just grab a javelin and just stick it in there. That's level 7, and that's where you just take it out. So anyway, there are multiple ways to do things on a foam roller, but I like to kind of do a combo of both. Okay, so you've seen me use the ball before and the rolling pin before, but for today, let's kind of go over some of the foam rolling stuff from top to bottom that we can use. Okay. All right, so for calf, now here's the disclaimer real quick. When we do foam rolling, and why I really haven't done it yet, is because it takes a lot of, there actually is a technique to this so you don't mess yourself up, okay? So with foam rolling, a lot of times, you can just put your leg on it and it might just be like, oh, and that might be enough. But a lot of times you got to put more pressure on it. Now, so and with foam rolling, you're going to have to support your upper body weight. So you must maintain proper blades, so you got to push down into the floor so your chest lifts. You've got to keep those abs in, and you got to make sure you're not shrugging like this. A lot of people, I've actually seen people get injured, pop AC joints, neck joints, low back things because their trainer or therapist was not training them right. They're like, oh, just go foam roll for 10 minutes. And then I'm watching them like all up like this, cranking all over the place, or they're all shrugged up trying to do stuff. And number one, it doesn't look pretty. And number two, you can really get hurt, okay? So as you do this, you got to make sure that you maintain butts, guts, and blades the whole time. More so guts and blades, because you can't really do much when you're sitting like this, okay? So when you do use a foam roller, you're going to have to use your upper body to move you. So you've got to make sure that you can actually lock your triceps in and you can get your blades down. Okay, yes, you can scoot around on the floor, but there is upper body stuff involved. your heart rate will go up, your blood pressure will go up a little bit, you will feel your body heat up a little bit. There is some core stability stuff in there. So just be aware of that, you guys. Just maintain core, maintain blades, okay? All right, so when we do calf, a lot of times what you want to do, or what you want to do is start in the middle, okay? And then you're just going to kind of roll down. So see how my hands are back? And we're going to kind of roll down and find a spot. Even if you find a little twinge of a spot, like I got one like right there, which I always have, it seems like. So that might be good enough just to do this. Now you can either sit on that spot and just let it unwind, let those muscle spindles chill out, or you can do a slow kind of back and forth massage. But again, you don't want to be shrugged down in your shoulders. You want to be up tall, moving. Now if you don't feel much, you can always bring the leg over the top. Okay, that weight of the other leg is really how you're going to rock it. Okay, now foam rollers come in different densities as well. I'm using a white one just because it shows up better on film, but I like to use the black ones because they're firmer. I just feel like they get more work done and they don't wear out. Okay, so your foot's going to go over the top. You're going to kind of get your hands underneath you, and you're going to just kind of roll back and forth. Now you can move your foot in and out as you do this to work the medial and the lateral aspects of the calf, but that's how you rock this out, okay? So I'm not lifting up way high with my butt. I'm kind of just scooting along the floor if I need to find a different spot. So right there's a really good spot on me. Okay, see that right there? Leg is over the top, and I'm just rocking this through. Okay, so we're getting that calf. Now let's say after I do this for 30 seconds, it kind of chills out. I'm breathing, that tenderness goes away, and I want to find a new spot. Get your hands underneath you, maybe slide up a little bit, maybe roll to the outside. So maybe I move my foot to the outside, and I go that way. Okay, and then I kind of roll back in again. So that's how you rock calf. Okay, you get that calf and that Achilles in there, and honestly, if it's too, and this will save your hands from having to sit here and just massage, massage, massage too. So if you're pretty solid where you can actually hang out like this for a while, just laying your leg over the top of a foam roller is an amazing way to reduce some of the spasticity that causes foot drop. Okay, so again, we switch legs, go over the top. So we're going calf. Now, we talk about peroneals a lot. Okay, peroneals are these outside muscles on that calf. Now this one, you're going to have to move around a little bit. So what you're going to have to do, you're going to put your arm down on the side like this. You're going to put your leg up on the side so your foot's turning completely out. Okay? And then what I'll do sometimes is I'll actually just roll it myself so I'm not going to move my body. But I'm putting myself this way, leg goes over the top, and then I'm right there. So see I'm on the side of my leg? So that's the peroneal groups. Now I'm going to have to hold my body up a little bit, so you've got to make sure you're pushing away from the floor. Abs are in as you put your body weight down on this, and you're going to kind of have to move your body. Now, once you find that spot, you could come down and just chillax and just relax it and sit on that spot. Like that's totally doable. Like right there, I actually feel that, and I'm going to push down a little bit. So you can kind of just find that spot, but then you're going to have to get back up to move. Okay? Now, even more advanced is coming all the way off the mat and then actually coming up here and hanging out. There's a lot of core stability in there, but it is pretty effective because you got more body weight on there. Okay? So that's how you get peroneal. Okay? Super important. All right, so let's talk about vastus medialis and groin. Okay? So what you do here is you're going to lie on your side. We're going right this way. So you're going to take this foam roller, okay, and you're going to put it right there. So you're going to actually bend your leg, come over the top like this. I'm just kind of relaxing on here, and then I'm just rolling. So right there, you're going to find that vastus medialis, and you're just going to kind of drop. You're not going to push hard, but your abs are going to stay in, your shoulder blades are locked, and you're going to roll right along that leg, right along that quad. So like right here. See where my leg is? Now I find that when I do the vastus medialis, a lot of times people just let their leg rest on that thing, and they're like, I don't feel anything. But then when you open that leg up a little bit, you're like, oh my gosh. Okay? So that's how you kind of get that lower vastus medialis. So again, instead of sitting there just kneading with your hands, you just get in and you work that VMO. Okay? I do this one a lot before I run because that vastus medialis gets pretty tight on me. Okay? So you can kind of just find a spot. Once you find a spot, chill. Now, if your leg's all the way down here, you may not feel it very much. You may have to help your leg pull it up a little bit, and then you open those fibers more, okay? Because your leg's more in flexion, you open the fibers more, and you can feel it more in the quad, okay? All right, now, groin. All you do is, what I would do is I would just roll your roller back, and then you kind of have to get to your stomach a little bit more for this, but then you get your leg all the way up. See, I'm all the way up in that inguinal crease. So I kind of have to put my hands underneath me, and then I get rolling on there, okay? And I mean, I'm pretty far up on that groin, which feels amazing right now, okay? So that groin is right in my inguinal crease, and that gets pretty tender, okay? So you kind of just have to lay over the top. If you decide that you want to go down like this all the way, make sure your abs are being pulled in. I have seen people foam roll, and they're in this arch position, up like this with their bellies hanging out, and then they go to get up, and bam, they hurt their low back. So you've got to make sure that you're in a nice, solid, just a gentle belly button pull all the way up. So see, I'm rolling kind of in and out of my groin. All right? So that's a good way to do it too. If you have a foam roller, I mean, literally just to sit here and like head down and just watch TV and just rolling. What are you doing? Oh, I'm just watching Netflix, rolling my groin. Okay, that's a fun conversation. Right? So right there, and you can kind of just move that in and out. So see, I'm not moving off the ground much, and I'm going all the way from my vastus medialis into my groin. Vastus medialis into my groin. Vastus medialis, okay? So it's right here. So you got quad all the way up into groin. Okay? All right, so that's adductors. Now, let's go to the belly. So with quads, all right? So rectus femoris right here. This is a big one, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to take this roller, put just half of it up next to your leg, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to have hands and knees. You're going to drop down slow, and that's way up on your hip, okay? So I'm way up here. So there's my belt. I'm way up this way, and then you're slowly just going to kind of army crawl forward, and then you're going to get that quad rolling, okay? Oh, yeah. Okay, so like right through there, and like if your foot's in foot drop, that's fine. You can kind of just let it drag a little bit, but you're getting all up in that quad, up in the middle. And again, you got to hold those abs up and keep strong in your shoulders so that you're not getting into the arch of so you're not arching your back. Okay, so you can go toes just down this way, so start at your hip, and then we're just rolling. Oh, I'm a foam roller. And then if you don't want to move a lot, you can always move that down that way too. You can just use your hand to roll. And then you're just going back and forth. So see what I'm doing with my arms right here? My hands are down, and I'm actually just kind of moving my body back and forth. My abs are staying in. My blades are staying down. Okay? And I'm doing kind of a plank position. Again, this requires some core stability, which is a good thing. But you got to protect your spine, and you got to protect your shoulders. Okay? So that is going to be rectus femoris or quad. And you can just spend some time rocking that out. Okay? All right, so let's talk about TFL. So TFL are these pocket muscles. Okay, we've talked about this a lot in previous modules where we've talked about sideline and then also that cross back stretch when we're standing up. So with TFL, what you do is you sit, okay? You sit here, drop your elbow down, extend this leg out, and then you're going to get right up on that pocket. Now, if you hit your hip, if you hit your thigh or your femur, okay, that's your thigh bone. If you hit the head of that, that ain't going to feel good. So you want to get above the head of the femur. You're going to bring this leg over the top. Okay, so see how I did that? So I kind of, you can either sit on it or put it under my butt. I kind of drop down. I put this hand down. Okay, I roll that hip over. This leg comes over for support. Okay. Now, we're going to stay at the top. So we're going to get right up on this pocket muscle on the bottom side, and you'll feel that. And you got to kind of roll forward just a tad, and you'll get up in there. Okay? Now, a lot of people, I'm going to just say this because we're on the top of this muscle, a lot of people are like, oh, let me just roll down the side of my leg. And then they're like, oh my gosh, because that's your IT band, your iliotibial band, or iliotibial tract, okay? I personally do not recommend rolling out your IT band, okay? This is a big fascial plane. I'd rather you do it with a rolling pin, because when you put your full body weight on that IT band, you actually smash that IT band into the muscle tissue, and it can it can actually cause a lot of compression, a lot of SI, or a lot of sciatica issues doing that. So the best thing to do to release an IT band syndrome is going to be to release the TFL and then release the biceps femoris and the lateral gastroc manually with our hands. That's how you get this thing to chill out. But to get all up in your IT band, it's just not fun, number one, and it can actually cause more damage to the tissue, okay? So the TFL is fine, so you're going to stay above that femur, that head of the femur, and roll that out, and you'll feel it. When you get into a spot, you're like, oh, geez, okay? And you'll know. So see where I am right there? I'm right here on this leg. Make sure you're keeping your abs in, and you can always bring this other hand down to help you with support, okay? So that's TFL. Okay, so what about piriformis? Okay, piriformis or sciatica issues. Well, piriformis runs right across here. Okay, so how you get that one going is you're going to sit on your roller, and if this is the affected side, what you're going to do is you're going to have to lean back a little bit, and then you're going to have to grab that leg and put it up. Now, you can do this without crossing. So basically what you do is you sit, you get right up in that sit bone, and all you're going to do is rotate, okay? So you can actually get a ton of gluteal release and sciatica release if you get right up in that glute. You can see where I'm sitting, I just roll right onto it. Now with the shoulder, you want to make sure that you're not down like this. Again, that's AC joint stress, that's collarbone stress. You want to get up tall and stay tall the whole time as you move. Okay? You can always use the foam roller here, but yeah, you can get your glute that way. Now, a second level of advancement is getting your leg up. So you kind of drop this leg down, you pull this up, and then pull this leg up, and then that opens up the fibers even more, and whoop, there's the party. Okay? And what you're going to do, you're not going to sit straight, you're going to kind of lean toward that hip. So you're going to roll your body toward that hip, kind of forward and back. When you find a spot, and you'll find it, it'll talk to you, you just kind of hang out on it, okay? So you want to let that thing chill, push yourself away from the floor, okay? And if you need to take a break for a sec, just take a break, get a little stretch in there, okay? Take a break on the shoulders, and then you can come back down and get back in it again, okay? So we get up and now. So this is a really good one to do for you people that sit a lot, drive a lot, have had back problems a lot, all that kind of fun stuff, okay? All right, so that's that side. So that's piriformis, okay? So we're just working our way up. Now, what about lats? Okay, we've talked about lats before. A lot of times I talk about lat releases. If you have low back pain or if you have shoulder issues, you probably have tight lats, but they're probably weak, but you still need to release them. So what you do is you put that foam roller right underneath here. So you lie this way, you find that lat, so here's my armpit, I'm actually a little bit below that to start, okay? And then you kind of, it's going to be hard if you're fully like this, so I like to keep my leg open like that, and then kind of find that spot, and when I find that spot there, then I can just kind of chill. But I use this leg to kind of guide my body. So you don't have your hand all the way up, you just want it nice and relaxed. You don't want it outstretched, you want to relax those fibers. So you can just get right up in there, okay? So then you get that lat moving, okay? So these are really important to do on both sides. Again, if you get those lats loose, and see now I'm up, I'm not in my armpit, but you might be, but I'm a little bit back behind it, okay? That gets that lat open, okay? So for those of you that are having stiffness and everything, and you can even move that arm back and up and down, see where you're at, okay? See where you're at. See if you have some stuff in your subscapularis, your lat, your serratus anterior, any of that shenanigans, okay? All right, good. Okay, so two last ones real quick, a little bit of mobilization. Now, some of you that have had back fusions, spinal fractures, disc issues, this one might not be for you, okay? You might be able to do this on a very small roll-up towel, but for those of you that don't have any low back issues or haven't had surgery, but you find yourself sitting like this a lot, which is pretty much all of you, what you can do here is you can sit by a roller, okay, and get pretty high up. You don't want to be back here, just pretty high up. And what you're going to do is put your hands behind your head, and then you're just going to let your body fall. Okay, so you're going to let your body, you're going to put your hands behind your head this way, elbows are together, and then let your body fall, and then just open up. Okay, and then bring it back up, so keep your abs in, so put your elbows together, lie back and open up. Okay, keep your hands under your head, so you bring it up, and then you can kind of lie back, and this works on what's called thoracic extension, and it will help get mobility back in your upper back. Bring it up, and then come back down. Okay, bring it up, and come back down, okay? So that's thoracic extension. Then there's an awesome one that I showed you guys in the past, but now that I have my roller out, and we'll dive more into this when we do a low back series, there's an SI, a sacroiliac release. So then you put your foot up here, okay, 90 degrees as much as you can with your foot on the roller. This bottom leg is straight out. Then this hand goes straight forward. We put our hand behind our head, abs are in. We come down and touch our arm, and then we just open up. So this is great for low back SI issues. So it's a 1, 2, and you only go to where your body says go. Do not try to crank it all the way to the floor. You just go to where your body says stop, and you do about 8 to 10 of these. By the time you get to about 8 to 10, you're going to notice that you can open up even more. Okay? So you can actually open up even more. Okay? So you go down, hold, abs are in, and then you come up this way. Down, hold. Abs are in, and then you come up this way. And you do that on both sides. Okay? And then very last one is, I love this one. I do this like when I'm just in here by myself hanging out. It just gives me like a grounding source. So this one is a little bit tricky because you're going to have to lie on the foam roller, but you kind of walk your back down so that you're lying on it. Okay? And all you do is you take your hands this way, and you just open, and you just breathe. Okay, so you just open up this way, gently push your, do a pelvic tilt and push your low back into the roller, and then you just lie here and you just open that chest up and breathe. This really helps kind of balance out your neck because it can't tip forward or back, and it just really opens up, like for yoga people, this opens up your heart chakra, it opens up your diaphragm, it opens up your pecs, it just opens up the whole front of your body. So the thoracic rotation, the sacroiliac release, and then this one are 3 really good ways to end your foam rolling session because you just lay here and chill. You can also kind of move your hands up and down as you do this, and that will open your pecs up even more and really get some active release going on in your shoulder girdles, okay? Or if that's hard for you, then just do it this way. You know, if you can't get your arms all the way down, then just do it this way. If your arms are up, same deal. And you can kind of just hang out. And this is also a good core exercise. Close to your feet together, put your hands up. You got some core exercise stuff going on in here as well. Okay? And that's another topic that we're going to get into down the road. I'm just going to hang out. Okay. So that's it, y'all. So the other things that you would need to focus on would be rolling pecs out, which are way more effective on the wall. And then maybe QLs, okay, which are these muscles right down here. Again, I like those better with a ball underneath versus a foam roller because a lot of people kind of they tend to arch their back when they put something under their low back. So the only other 2 things that I would recommend would be releasing pecs with a ball, releasing QLs with a ball, okay, and then any of the other releases that we do. Okay, so I hope that answered a lot of your guys' questions. I know there's been questions about that. Foam rolling is actually kind of a cool exercise. I know there's a debate on it out there in the fitness world and the therapy world. I still like it as long as you're not aggravating tissue, like I talked to you about the IT band. You also never want to foam roll your neck, ever. That's why I'll always have you use fingers. Don't ever put a ball on your neck, a lacrosse ball on your neck, a rolling pin on your neck, or a foam roller on your neck, ever, okay? That's why we use manual releases in here for neck and also for like low back. And then IT band, you just got to be smarter. You got to release the TFL in this, and then it will release the tension in the fascia. So I like foam rolling. I think it gives a pretty low-grade core stability exercise that teaches you to use butts, guts, and blades. It does help you start to learn how to support your body weight, and also it works on releasing a lot of things that you normally wouldn't. And this is a great activity to do anytime. You can do it in your office, you can do it while you're watching TV, you can do it out on your patio, just hanging out, and you start to get into this flow, and it almost feels like a mini yoga practice when you get done, because you're kind of just releasing all the tension spots in your body. When you get done, you feel a lot better. So I'm a proponent of foam rolling if it's done well. You just don't want to roll everything, and you also want to be strategic in what you are releasing if you don't need to release something. One thing I forgot real quick, hamstrings, okay? Hamstrings underneath, I don't know why I forgot that, I'm sorry. Hamstrings are just this. So you find a spot underneath, and then you come back, find a spot underneath, and then come back. So you kind of just roll your hamstring forward and back, and it's probably going to be the outer one. So you want to turn that foot a little bit to the outside. I can't believe I forgot hammy time. I'm sorry, hammy time. So you're going to go to the outside a little bit. I was just talking about biceps femoris, and there you go. So that's hamstrings. Sorry. But anyway, so that's how we roll with foam rolling. Ooh, yeah, see, that's how we roll. So if you guys like this video, go ahead and hit like. I've seen comments pop up. If you want to comment, comments away. And I will see you guys later for Motivation Monday. Have an awesome beginning of your week, and I'll talk to you later.